Hey people, what's up? Hart here. I hope you're having a great day. So I've been having a lot of people asking me to do a mixing tutorial, and mainly the way that I mix is I kind of mix as I go. So the best way I think for me to show you that is to make a beat from scratch and kind of show you my whole process. So this will be slightly less edited than my normal videos, and I'm just going to kind of show you my flow and this is really how I make beats, and just kind of have you come along for the ride. So if you are down for that, stay tuned because we're going to hop into Ableton and make a beat. Okay, so I'm going to start with the melody that I have in my head, and I have a piano loaded up here, so I'm just going to set this to loop the first 4 bars and record this melody. Okay, melody sounds good. Now I want to add some chords. So I'm thinking, let's see, we're in E minor, so that E minor, the 1 chord, down to the 6, which is the C. Okay, so I have this melody, I have the chords now. I went ahead and added an extra keys part here. So not much by itself, but I don't really want to just leave it like this. I'm actually going to make it kind of like a textural thing. So I went ahead and added an echo, just like this. Echo just makes everything sound better. I don't know. I love it. And then grain delay, which I feel like people don't use this enough, but basically this is like using a plugin like Portal, which Portal is kind of special. I love Portal, but just a cool way to add some texture. So I'm going to go ahead and just add an audio track, and let's set it to resampling since this is soloed. Go ahead and record this. Okay, so I have this audio now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to bring the gain up a little bit. So it sounds pretty cool, but I want to reverse it because I think it's going to sound even better in here. So I'm just going to take the section that I want, Control E. Let's get rid of that. And let's go ahead and hit R to reverse that audio clip. The only thing I would add is some reverb. So let's come in here and let's just use super massive because it's free and it sounds amazing. Something like that. Cool. Let's see. Let's do a bass next because why not? Okay, so I have this restyle bass. So I'm going to add a really, really simple bass line, probably just following along the root notes here. So let's see, we have the E and probably the C. Okay, so everything is a little loud. I always have a limiter on my main channel just so I don't blow my ears out because I've almost done that before. So helpful tip, always have a limiter on your main channel. So let's go ahead and just start mixing this a little bit here. Bass is going to come way down. I'm going to go ahead and add an echo onto this melody too because I think it'll sound nice because everything sounds better with a little bit of echo. I also have some different return tracks. I always have these set up pretty much a large reverb, a short reverb, and an echo down here. And I usually use Valhalla Room for these, just really simple. You can also use Ableton stock reverb and it's totally fine. So I'm just going to send these to the shorter reverb. do that. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and add some drums. Perfect. I went ahead and quantized that so it's just perfectly on the beat. And what I want to do is I want to separate my kick and my clap because I like to mix them a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and, if you don't know how to do this, you can go ahead and open up and show your chains here, which is basically all of the samples you have loaded into your drum rack. So I'm going to right click on the one that I want to take out, and we have extract chains. So that's going to remove it from that drum rack and put it into a new one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some hi-hats, like some trap hi-hats. And I'm just going to do that off camera to save your sanity because these are like so freaking tedious, but this is what we're doing today. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed one of the decap drum racks that comes, I'm not going to lie, that's like the 5th time I tried to record that and I nailed it this time. Decap drum rack is very hard to say, but it comes free with Ableton Live 12. So I just grabbed that rack and dropped it on this channel. And you'll see one of them is missing. That's actually the closed hi-hat, which I moved down to its own piano roll in a simpler because I wanted to be able to pitch the hi-hats to different pitches. Okay, so normally I like to grab all of my drums, so I'm going to click at the top one, which is the kick, down to that closed hi-hat. You hold shift and you can grab all of them, Control G to put them in a group, and I need to make them the same color because it needs to be the same color. Okay, and normally for my drums, I just keep it really simple. I'm going to put a glue compressor and a saturator and an EQ8. So let's take that off. And really all I do is just a slight bit of compression, take down the attack. So it's catching mainly that kick and the clap, tiny bit. Tiny bit of saturation. And I just like to add a tiny bump here, just make it a little extra crispy. And I think that sounds pretty good. That's literally all I'm going to do for my drums. Usually I like to have kind of 2 melodies to go back and forth because this one's going to get stale pretty quick. So I went and found this woodwind sample that I think fit the vibe like perfectly. So yeah, the loop sounds really, really good with this. I'm just going to cut it up a little bit. So I kind of want it to not be like through the entire thing. So let's do that. Basically. This is like real life of what I do. Like I sit here and just work on the fades of things for like 20 minutes. So normally I spare you guys this part. And it sounds a little unnatural because I need to add some reverb to this. So I'm just going to use my larger reverb. Let's see how that does. Okay, that sounds a little better. So let's go ahead and take that back over here. Still doesn't sound quite right. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, all right. I'm just going to take that one back there because that one's better. I just held control right there, and you can duplicate things by holding control and dragging. And then let's go ahead and take like the end of it. that back. Okay, I've had so many people ask me for a mixing video, and I'm kind of trying to go through my mixing process as I'm making this beat. This is kind of just my general workflow as I mix as I go. And one thing here that I am noticing is going to be a problem is this piano. So really, really beautiful, nice piano that I started with. And this is normally what I start with is a piano just to get an idea down. But especially with this flute or this woodwind, whatever it is, like it's just getting drowned out. Can't even hear it. So I'm actually going to switch out this sound because it's going to, I think, work better for me in the long run. Okay, so I went into Meld and created this kind of pad, which I think sounds way freaking cooler than the piano anyway, but it's also going to work a lot better. Yeah, that's the sound. So I can just run you through this real quick. It's basically two square waves that I have here. The tones are set slightly differently. What's making that kind of cool, like sliding effect with the filter, I actually went in and mapped the filter frequency to this modulation envelope here. So without it, just sounds like that. Drag this all the way up. So just to check out the effects chain I have on here, an EQ3 that's just boosting some of the highs, chorus ensemble just to give it a little bit more width, delay to kind of make it a little bit more ambient and space it out, and then a reverb here again just to kind of soften it up a little bit. Compression just to catch that initial peak, an EQ, and then an echo, and then duck pretty much goes on everything. This is going to be sidechained to the kick. And that is going to do it for that sound. But yeah, altogether it sounds amazing. Let's take the volume down. Again, same deal with this melody. So I wrote this with the piano. And when you play it with everything here, this is full volume. Barely hear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the sound to a little bit pluckier sound, and this is just a preset from Native Instruments Sway. And it's just coming through so much better. So I feel like this is like a crucial part of mixing that most people don't really talk about very often. Sound design, sound choice, and it's very, very important. You always hear about gain staging and you're getting your levels right and compressing things and all of these things, and all of those are nice, but if you pick the right sounds off the bat, like you don't even really need to EQ, you don't really need to compress, you don't really need to do all of these other things. All right, I'm gonna hop off the soapbox and go ahead and start arranging this. So I just hit Control I to add in time. So I'm gonna start with just the chords. So again, I'm just going to hold Control and drag this back. Let's bring the bass. Let's bring this little grain thing back. And we're not going to bring the drums or anything. Let's just see how this sounds. We can have the drums come in probably here. Let's grab all of this, bring it back here. Don't want both of these melodies playing at the same time up there, so I'm going to move this one back for now. Let's have this woodwind play. You can probably do that one for 8 bars. And this is coming out too far now. Boop, Boo. Let's do that. Does that still sound right? Sounds good enough. So let's go ahead and just grab these bars, Control D to duplicate that over. And we'll do the same with all of the drums. Bring that over. Bass and the piano. I'm going to leave. You know what? Let's take that out of there, move it to here instead. And then we'll have that play. Have the drums come back in here. Okay, so real quick, one more fun trick to do with your melody. I'm going to repurpose this melody. So I'm just going to duplicate it real quick. Let's get rid of all that. Let's delete that. Add an audio track. I'm going to up the echo like a lot. And just record that into a new track. Okay, so this is the resampled audio. It sounds a little too busy though. I'm gonna just come in here and try and find like a shorter section to loop. So maybe like this. So this is a fun thing to come into your audio track and you can just loop this section. So I just selected the section I wanted down here in the audio clip, Control L to loop it. And so now it's just going to continue to play this over and over. I think one other thing is I want to layer these with something else. So let's insert another MIDI track. I'm going to go to Labs, which is free from Spitfire Audio. And they have some nice choirs, like the fifth. So that is pretty much how I make beats. Like I just go through and start usually with a piano, a melody, or some chords, and just build from there. Change sounds if you need to, very, very important. And yeah, if you enjoyed this one, if you learned anything, please remember, hit that like button. Leave me a comment, let me know what you want to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.